How do you know if your house has appraised so you can cash out refinance? So an appraisal is going to be something that you order from an appraiser. So I'm going to take this kind of question behind the question and assume that what you're asking is how do you know the after repair value of a home, and then make sure that you do not exceed 75% of that after repair value with your purchase price and your rehab cost. And I think this is a absolutely fantastic question, one that I haven't talked about on this channel in quite some time, and that's that you really need to be familiar with your local market. So if you want to invest in Dayton, Ohio, then you need to spend a uh, unreasonable amount of time on the World Wide Web looking at all of the comparable sales. So, residential real estate, 1 to 4 units, those valuations are based off of comparable sales. So, appraised values are always kind of a lagging indicator. And whenever you are investing in a really hot market, or you're trying to buy a house in a really hot market where things don't stay on the market for very long, then you're going to start seeing a lot of offers with like appraisal gap, which means if the appraisal comes in low, they're going to bring the remainder of that cash to closing, which means they're willing to pay more for that property than the appraised value, because appraisals are kind of lagging indicators of the market, because in residential, they can only go off of past sales. So I would say if you look on redfin.com, realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, any of these websites that have access to the MLS data, I would say spend a lot of time on there. Look for the actual neighborhoods that you are interested in investing, and then filter things out so you see all of the recently sold. And if you have a property in mind that you are interested in purchasing, then look at that property, look at the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, the square footage, and then the overall condition of that property. Then filter it out. So inside of like a mile radius of that location, you look at all the other 3 bed, 1 bath properties, and then you manually will look at all the photos of the recently sold ones and figure out what type of condition that property is in compared to the one that you're interested in purchasing. So if you are buying a property that clearly needs a lot of work, then don't look at the properties that need a lot of work as well that have recently sold. Look at the ones that are very comparable to the type of work that you plan on doing to your property. And through that, you're going to be able to make sure that you stay reasonably within the square footage. Square footage ultimately is really important when it comes to determining the after repair value. So then you're going to have a very good indication of what your property is going to be worth after you make all of the appropriate repairs to it. And from there, you're just going to want to make sure that your purchase price leaves room for you to spend, however much money you want or are planning on to bring it up to speed to compete with the other ones. You're going to want to make sure you stay below 75% of that number. So once you determine your after repair value, let's say it's $100,000 is what this property is going to be worth all fixed up, just immediately you're going to want to stay less at 75% or less. So you're not going to want to be in that property for more than 75,000. So from there, if you know that it needs $30,000 worth of work to bring it up to speed so that it is worth $70 or $100,000 after it's done, the most you can pay for that property is $75,000 minus $30,000. So the most you can pay is $45,000. That's a fair price for that property given its condition. And at that point, after you've done all of that, it becomes a numbers game. So in order to get a deal that good, you have to put out a significant number of offers on properties that meet that criteria. Thanks for watching that clip. I thought that was a good question. And I think you can ask good questions too. Join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live stream Q&A where we answer plenty of questions just like this one. In the meantime, consider subscribing to the channel if you want more of this content. And if you want to increase your deal flow, analyze properties better, and help me feed my family, click the link below for a free 7-day trial of PropStream.